people to me. I was already in a case where I was hurt already. And that was why I went to the police officer, reacting to what he had said to me before when he said, you could tell anybody you want, when he was brutalizing me and pushing me around. And that's why I said, I'll call the governor. And I said that 4 times based on the reaction to what he had said before. But you see, there are a lot of things out there. There was a start to that story. And the portion that was taken out was a portion, and not the full story. And God knows the full story. And a lot of people have also adduced to saying that me saying I'll call the governor is a show of my strength because I came in a Lexus SUV. I don't own that Lexus SUV. And I didn't own the police escorts that came with the Lexus SUV. A friend of mine owned that. Just to put that in public, because it was made to look as though I owned that. And when I spoke back, rat the officers and said I'll call the governor, it was not because I felt I was better than anybody else. It was an affirmation of a fact that I have always pushed that people have a right to call their lawmakers, their leaders, when they're in times of distress, because that's why they have a democratic institution where they voted in their leaders. A lot of people said, Rufai, you were trying to show off that you had power. No. I'm not like that. I'm not that person. And I'll ask you today, please go online and check. The mayor of New York has got his telephone number online, Eric Adams. You can go check. Just by extension, go Google it out. Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson was an MP. He's got his number online where people can reach him when they have challenges. They can even book what they call a surgery. You can also check, even the White House, the big White House in America, they've got their own number online where you can call the White House. Even Aso Villa have got their own number online where you can call Aso Rock, the seat of power in Nigeria. And the Lagos state government, in the spirit of public accountability, have the numbers of the top government officials online. You can check. You could Google it. You could Google Lagos state governor's number. In fact, you see the number of the deputy governor. You see the number of all the commissioners, their email addresses. So it was not from a point of vantage position. Now you have open access to it. And when you feel in distress, you can actually call the governor. And you can say to police officers that you will call the governor. You can. Because that's the authority. I've seen a lot of political spinning around this. And I'm taken aback. But I apologize, and I apologize because I hold a lot of you listening to me in high esteem. And I was furious, So I apologize for that. But it is not to say that I'm bigger or better than anybody else. Everybody has the right. You could check out there online. The number is there. You can ring up the number. You can send an email. But you see, in all of this, I've learned lessons, and those lessons are cogent. And these are lessons that will last with me. I've seen life the other way around. And it just shows me that life is a learning curve. I saw a lot of people report the story in the press without asking me my own side of the story. Anyway, it's interesting the way we work in this country. But all of that is all gone. But to all of you listening, I apologize once again. And I just need to set the record straight. But one thing I can tell you for free is this. I am not a sensational person. I will not come and say something if my car was not forcefully driven away and I didn't even know where my car was going. I will not do all of that. I will not be sensational. And the first message I put out there, I did confirm that they said they were pulling me over for a traffic infraction. I will not come and lie to make my side of the story sweet. But many things I'll let go. And I apologize once again. Today we'll continue with a series. And I just had to put that out there because of public accountability. Because I know you're still going to ask about it. There's no how you're not going to ask about it. And I put it out there just to let you know. And like I said, I apologize for the distraction. I don't want it to be a distraction to the great work we're doing here every Sunday. And I'm going to continue about being disciplined. And this Sunday is going to be a continuation of where we stopped last week Sunday. And last week Sunday was where I talked about, personal hypocrisy, the things that keep us back, that we do within ourselves, that creates a hurt, and that, sort of like tramples on our dreams and our existence. Today, I'll continue with a critical part that talks about convictions. And it has to be said, you can call this the audacity of convictions. On the path to discipline, the audacity of your conviction will be tested. You can't deny that. It will be tested in many ways, shape, or form. That how resolute are you in your conviction? How much do you hold dear your convictions? And how much can you carry on when the audacity of your conviction is tested? Let me tell you this for free. The first group of people that test your resolve are those closest to you. The Yorubas have a saying that kokoro to njefo, idiefo lowa. The first group of people that test your resolve are those closest to you. Because you have convictions, but the people that are close to you will always want you to be on their level. So the moment you are disciplined enough to be able to be outstanding, then the people close to you will test your conviction. Haven't you wondered that when you first say you want to lose weight, the first people that will tell you that you can't lose weight, you like food too much, are those that are closest to you. So until it happens, and until it is done, they'll always say you cannot do it. Yesterday, I met a very, very powerful lady, which her story inspires me a lot. And I know one day soon, I'll be able to bring her here to tell the full story. She's on 4.6 GDP. I said GDP, GP number. CGPA number. And this girl came from the depth of poverty. Her parents wanted to marry her off at the age of 15. Because her parents are not lettered and they don't see anything good that can come out of a young girl. They don't even believe in the possibility of school. So all they want is marry her off so that they can get some money from the purported husband. But this girl pushed on until she met some people that were willing to pay for her school. But you know what? The battle continued. Despite the fact that somebody else is even taking the responsibility of her parents and is paying for the school, paying for the fees, paying for everything. Guess what? The parents are still fighting that the people should not pay for her school fees, but they should give them the money to do things. But this girl had been pushing since then, and she's well on her way to finishing up. And she's on the first class. But despite that, her parents are still pushing. Left for them, what is the value of a school? As long as the girl goes to get married and they see money to collect. And the person they first wanted to marry the girl to was not even as a first wife, but as a third wife. But she's been pushing on and been surging on. And one thing I learned for her is the audacity of her conviction that she'll go to school. She's on the first class despite the fact that this girl is a late starter. Because of the hiccups from the parent, she couldn't go to university on time. She couldn't go to university on time. She had to do homeschooling and all of that before she passed. But now she's on the first class. 4.68. And when I talked to her yesterday, all I saw was the audacity of her conviction. Because everything around her and people that are supposed to love her and care for her the most are the ones that are testing her resolve and her convictions to go to school. They've told her many times that what good can come out of a girl going to school? But despite all the distraction, despite all the emotional tussle she's facing from her parents, in fact, sometimes her parents will be hostile towards her, but her conviction is strong that she must go to school. Her conviction is strong that she must go to school. And she's been pushing on. Because you see, it has to be said, not everybody will believe in your convictions from day one. The true test of your conviction will be your own capacity to believe in it and be disciplined with it, despite the fact that you have external forces and circumstances, that they will always come. If your resolve is not tested, it's not good enough. So the question is, how strong enough is your resolve? For you, it could be on the business you're doing. You want to build an application that will stand the test of time. For you, it could be on your life dream or your life goal. How strong enough is your resolve? What is the audacity of your conviction? A certain man also that put the story of the audacity of the conviction very strongly was a man called Gustave Eiffel. Gustave Eiffel was a man that, to a large extent, nobody believed in. In fact, when he said he wanted to build a tower in the middle of France, a lot of people were laughing at him. A lot of people laughed at him. They said, how do you want to build a 300-meter tower when all you have done is to be a bridge engineer? How? But the man kept on pushing. In fact, the major newspaper then, and the 300 top intellectuals in France, they wrote articles about 300 reasons why the Eiffel Tower will not work. I might be wrong on this, but I think, if my memory serves me right, the name of the famous newspaper was called Le Tenue or something in France then. And all the French intellectuals will write articles. 3 of them wrote 300 different articles. That the Eiffel Tower is a waste of time, and they shouldn't give Gustave Eiffel the chance to build this useless pipe dream. This useless man. Even as he was building, he faced a lot of setbacks. Things happened to Gustave Eiffel that challenged him even completing the tower. He overspent, but he kept on building. The day Gustave Eiffel finally completed the tower and opened it, the story changed. All of a sudden, Gustave Eiffel became the hero. This same man, 300 people, accused of building the most stupid project in France, everybody now wanted to go see Gustave Eiffel's tower. And obviously true to type, because nobody believed in Gustave Eiffel, he put his name on it. And that's why your name matters a great deal. Your name is on your conviction. So he called the tower Eiffel Tower. That's what he called it. Eiffel Tower. His first name Gustave, his last name Eiffel. Everybody that said everything was wrong with the tower became the proponents of the tower. So don't be sad about those that shut you down now and say you're stupid. Hold on to the audacity of your conviction. Let time tell. Time settles everything. You know, there are some things you can't say now that in the fullness of time, time will settle it out. Let everybody mock you all they want. Let everybody cast aspersion. But the audacity of your conviction should stand strong. All those that wrote in newspaper and mocked Gustave Eiffel, today most people don't remember them. But there is no how today you go to France, the first place you want to go to is the Eiffel Tower. Today in Paris, Eiffel Tower brings more revenue, and correct me if I'm wrong, than any other tourist location. It has become the center where people propose to their loved ones. It has become the major center of attraction. But this was the same place that when Gustave Eiffel was building it, everybody said it's stupid. And really, they have a point. Every great idea and every great conviction is always stupid to the people that don't understand it. So for the fact that they said your ideas are stupid, it's a confirmation that it is stupid to them, truly. And they are not lying. Don't get them wrong. And sometimes it's not as a result of animus. They are not lying. Don't get it twisted. Yes, your ideas are stupid. But you see, one thing I've come to realize, that there's a thing about time and ideas. Once you continue and leave ideas to time, there's the dynamism about time and ideas. And that's why I tell people nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. Even a 7-nation army cannot stop an idea whose time has come. So when you first put the idea forward, a lot of people say it's stupid. And they have every right. Just like when two bicycle repairers from a place called Kitty Hawk in North Carolina, Orville and Wilbur Wright, tried to put the first plane in the sky, and they flew it for some seconds. A lot of people looked at them and said, what are these bicycle repairers playing with? A plane? A plane that people had said, it's made of metal, can't fly in the air? But for those that mocked Orville and Wilbur Wright, as in 1902, 1903, just 20 years down the line, the same idea that a lot of people thought was novel, just 30, 40 years down the line, the same idea a lot of people thought was novel, had become the mainstay that people were flying planes to attack each other during the Second World War. So what changed? Time. Time. Time, just like a lot of people felt, what is all of this happening? Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, once said that as at 1995, when he first saw a computer that was on the internet, when he went to visit a relative in America, that he Googled China and he could hardly find 100 entries about China. But in a matter of time, everything had evened out. In a matter of time. Now, if you Google China online, I'm sure you see millions of entries about China. But the audacity of your conviction remains. And it is based on the audacity of your convictions that the things you do are to be done. So I'll take some calls this morning, like I said, because we have so much to do. And I want Yemi to help me out too. Yemi has to help me out, despite the fact that me and him had a back and forth today, and we had back and forth and we fought. But, he's my brother. I was just a little angry with him that I didn't open the door for me. We've settled it. Yeah. So I will need the jack, Yemi. Because we need to call a lot of people. Can we get the second one? But you can call us up 0700 903 903 903. And I will put this out there. Audacity of conviction. So you can go to the, what is it called? We can go to the, what is it called, group? You can go to the Rufai Speaks podcast and listen to it all over again. Thanks, Yemi. You can go to the Rufai Speaks podcast. We've got a call coming in. Okay, we'll just first take some of the calls. Okay. Oh, great. Hello, how are you?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Great to have you.
Yeah, this is Richard calling from Alabama.
Great to have you, Richard. How are you, sir?
Yeah, hello, fine. You don't need to bother yourself. I understand what you pass through. I understand how you feel.
Thank you
Don't
so
mind
much.
people that are saying all those things. I don't understand. We that are passed through this understand what you pass through.
Thank you
But
so
I
much.
just tell you to don't give up.
Yes.
We love you. You don't understand. We cannot come one-on-one and tell you we love you. Because all of us are happy for people to see you.
Thank you so
But
much.
man, I have to give it to you. You always
Thank
stay
you.
forward, and you are stand by your word. I know that the good Lord will continue to strengthen you guys.
Amen. Thank you so
Don't
much.
mind what people are saying.
Thank you
You
so
will
much.
be going higher. That's
Amen.
normal thing. That's normal thing. If you are passed through this power of history or of the government of the day, you understand who is that are passed through it. You don't even say this because you don't know what to say it to.
Thank you so much.
So just because they have seen you as somebody that speaks to the people, they just feel this is opportunity to other people to use it, other to use it as a helpline. Just as I told you in their message, you have the right to call the governor. You have the right. It's your right. It's my right to call the governor. That's why we are the country that I don't understand. That's the truth.
Thank you
But
so
I
much.
just wish you well. I wish you well, my brother.
Thank you
Just
so
keep
much.
it up, eh?
Really,
The Lord
really,
is your friend.
really
You
appreciate
are a
it.
young man that is doing a young, you are pushing harder. And if you should understand it, the goal of what you are doing, you can listen to your words and your word of encouragement, but in the, when you come out live in Alive TV, you understand. We see you. You know the back of the rest. We know the way you we know who you are. They don't need to tell us. They need to tell us who you are. We know you.
Thank
I
you
just
so
let
much.
me the opportunity call you. I just appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really
it.
appreciate you, my brother. I really appreciate you, my brother. My brother Ambassador Musbao. How are you, sir?
God bless you, my brother. You are blessed.
My brother, you're a strong man. Bless you, bless you.
You are blessed. You are a gift to this generation.
Amen,
Rufai,
my brother. Yeah.
look, let me tell you, you owe nobody apology. Honestly, if you learn, it's all learn how you will have to learn how to do things right. It is your right. Express your right. No matter you are on top of the situation. Let them say. You make your point. Like you said, the phone number of the supposing I pull a call through to my president, he has to complete my call. There's not big about that. Let's do things the way it should be. We need to move on this country. We need to move on. You won't nobody apologize. I'm still repeating it. Yeah. You are great. So to me, we want to hear more. Please give us do what you know how to do best. We want to listen to you. We want to hear you. We want to learn from you. We want to learn from you. It's all over. That's the of the life, please. So please,
thank you.
Mr. Rufai.
Yes, sir.
My hands are up. Oh.
Yes. So Ambassador Musba, let's use that to announce it. Yeah. Ambassador Musba is a very great frontline man in the struggle of this country. He got blind. He was blinded by, the authorities again during the June 12th struggle. He's launching his book, and I want you all to support him, please. Ambassador Musba, please call your number out on the air. I don't normally do this, but I want a lot of people to reach out to support you as regards launching this book. He's a social activist, stands for all the good. Ambassador Musba, just call your number out on the air, please.
I want to apologize. I'm going to give my number out. I'm not, please don't come in. I don't have money to give, but to learn, to teach, to educate, I'm there. Please, I'm begging. For support, I'm launching my 33 years of activism.
Okay.
And I'm launching a book, my losses and gain as an activist. If I book right, I want to support me how to build this book to be well accepted. If you want to assist me on that, please, you call me on this number, 090.
Yes.
988
Yes.
42325.
Yeah. Okay.
090 988 42325.
Okay.
We are going to be there by the day. We're going to celebrate this. Rufai, you are going to be there at the front stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Bless you so much. Hello, how are you, sir?
Thank you. Good morning, Rufai.
Morning.
So I'm very, very happy that you are also learning quickly and early. I only have a little advice. The more of the instruction control you may want to adopt, the more you will publicize it. The little I've had, I only had today. If you didn't mention it, I would not care. But it all shows that you are also defenseless in a very beautiful society like ours. Let me put it that way. And being defenseless, you have to adopt any means to help yourself. And for you to know somebody at the top is also very good. That is the audacity of your conviction. Thank you very much. And just be not worried.
Thank you so much.
Rejoice when these trials come. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, I mean, like I just set the record straight there, but I don't want the distraction. Please, I beg you. God sees my heart. I don't want the distraction, and I want it to be behind me. And let's stop.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you? Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Great to have you.
Is that
Morning,
Mr. Rufai?
Yeah, this is Rufai.
Thank God for once again speaking to you. My name is Mr. Nusa, calling from Italy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nusa. Yemi, please come help me.
I called last week.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, in fact, I'm very sorry for the ordeal that happened within the week.
That's fine.
And I just want to let you know, don't be discouraged, because even your message of today, the audacity of conviction. In fact, I summoned your courage and your sagacity. Like I told you last time, I said yourself and Mr. Doctor are the reason why we still believe there are media personnel that are came and doing their work, without fear of favor. And I want to encourage you, because just want to tell you that what happened within the week was corruption fighting you. Because, all what you are doing on the media space, they are not happy about it at all. And want to encourage you again to tell you that this is just the beginning. Because come 2023, either of the political party winning the election will do worse than what we are seeing right now. A lot of television stations will be shut down. And a lot of these people like you who are saying the truth on the media space will be haunted with everything they have. But don't be discouraged. The Lord will continue to be your strength. This is, people like us, we are here watching. You are the reason why we still believe in one Nigeria. We still believe in that country, Nigeria.
Amen.
Please keep up the good work you are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, I want to really focus on the plenty things I have today, because I have a packed show, and I'm making some calls out to somebody now. I pray he picks up the call, and I've sent him messages. I just hope he picks up the call, and I'm a little taken aback. I don't know why he's not picked up. I'm anxious, but I will not be anxious, because he needs to pick up the call to be able to link me up with somebody. A Nigerian was killed in Italy, and I have made contact with his wife. He was strangled to death in Italy. So the person I'm trying to call now, is in case if you're anywhere in the world, is Mr. Osazeru, that's been doing so many great work as regards helping Nigerians come out of various forms of bondage in Italy. And he's supposed to connect me to the wife of Mr. Ugochukwu Alika that was killed in Italy. I'm trying to put a call across to her now. And please, I want us to reach out to her in love and in togetherness and see what we can do for her. I am ringing her up already. Hopefully, she picks up, we'll get to talk to her. But she isn't picking up yet. I'll also try to get again Mr. Sazeru so that we can talk to her. Okay, once we get across to them, we'll be able to talk to them. Let me see if I can call him again and force him to get me back, or maybe he's well asleep. Let me take some other calls as we're trying to sort out all of this. Hello, how are you?
Hello, good morning, Rufai.
Great to have you.
Yeah, my name is Austin. I'm calling from South Africa.
Great to have you, Austin.
Yeah, thank you for the good work you're doing, and especially yourself and your crew in Arise TV. You all are doing a very great job, and you are the reason why we still believe in the Nigeria media space, because so many other, even your colleagues in the media are against you. We know. One even went as far as making just of what you said during your ordeal on the national TV. So thank you for what you're doing, and may God be your guide. And they cannot break you. Just know that. Thank you very much, Rufai.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate you. So I'm trying to get across to... Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning, Rufai.
Great to have you, sir.
My name is Chooks. I called you last week.
Great to have you.
And I'll come in on the beginning of the week, and I was hearing this. I was that afraid. Because like I spoke to you last time. I say you reminded me of when I was growing up hearing about Delegiwa. So I just want to tell you to keep strong. Take care of yourself. This is why we're talking about changing our countries. Because if we are in a better country, they're only gonna just take a picture of your number plate, and send you a letter. That's it. No, there wasn't any need to do what they did, So, but I had everybody's praying for you. Everybody's saying, take care of yourself. The time we are now is a political season. They are targeting those who are on their back, So please take good care of yourself and make sure you and your family is safe. We all are praying for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I have tried so hard to reach Mrs. Charity, but I know she's going through a lot now. The widow of the Nigerian man that was killed in Italy. I've tried so hard to reach her. I wanted to bring her on the radio so that you people would get to reach out to her. I'll probably make donations towards her. So it should be on record that I tried. I also called Mr. Sazeru, but I'm sure he wasn't close to his phone, so I've not been able to get across to them. I have sent her a message, but I can't get across to them. So maybe when I can get across to them, then we will be able to talk to them. So I have a lot to do today. So I also want to reach out to somebody based on a case that is on about a lawyer, Inibe Effiong. Inibe Effiong. The case was that he went to court and he was a lawyer, and he said, he wasn't comfortable with the policeman bringing a gun into the court. And the next thing, the judge was said to have said they found him for contempt of court, and fast forward, he's in jail for a month now. They say he's going to be in jail for a month. So there's somebody I'm calling to give me some updates as regards what is happening. A lot of lawyers have been pushing for this, but I'm calling somebody to give me an update. Iboro Otu, if Iboro Otu joins me, I don't know what is happening. All of a sudden, all the guests you arranged with and called prior to this time and said, oh, you're going to come on the show and speak. All of a sudden, they are not just all picking up. What's happening? What a day today. But it's fine. We move. I'm still trying to reach out to him. And let's see if we can get across to Mr. Otu, and he will definitely talk to us. All right, you can still call all the phone lines 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903. Okay, I got her back. Hello, ma. Hello, good morning. Great to have you. Yes, my name is Rufai Oseni. I'm calling you right from the radio station Voice of the People in Nigeria. Yemi, please, can you come help me? Yeah, I'm calling you live from the radio station Voice of the People in Nigeria. I was given your number by Mr. Osaze Eru, and I was just calling you based on what happened. I'm calling you from Media House in Nigeria. It's a pleasure talking to you. Please, who am I talking to, sir? Okay. Who am I? The brother of the woman? Okay, you are the brother of the woman that lost her husband, right? Okay. How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Good. So I just wanted, I don't know if she's there, and I just wanted to talk to her so that she will be able to talk to Nigerians, and any way possible, people can reach out to her because we feel for her and we feel what she's going through, and we just want to say that we are with her at this point in time like this.
Yeah, but she's with some journalists now. I don't know.
Okay, so she's with some journalists now in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We will still see if we can call her back before the end of the show, so we can reach across to her and get to talk to her ourselves, huh? Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. So, okay, we'll try to see if we can sort this out. We'll try to see if we can sort this out and see how we can connect the line properly and ensure that everything goes smoothly. Sorry, we're just doing a lot of connecting work here. Okay. So let's try it out and see if we can call again and see if the line will be any clearer. So sorry, there's a lot of technical back and forth going on here. So we'll still try to get across to the people we're getting across to and see as the line goes through and how quickly we can make it come on. We're still trying. Let's see if we can take this call. Hello?
Hello, good morning, sir.
Great to have you. Good morning, yeah.
Good to have you, Mr. Rufai. This is your cosmate, Abdullah Mustafa from Turkey.
Okay, great to have you, sir.
Don't get time, no.
Yes, sir.
Good to hear from you today, please.
Pleasure, sir.
And I wish you all the best. Just keep on doing the good thing that you are doing. Maintain our professional responsibility, please. I wish you well.
Thank you so much. Bless you so much, sir.
I wish you well.
Bless you.
Please.
Bless you
I'll call you later so that I can have your number, please.
No problem. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah. So, okay, let me see if I can get across to somebody else. Goodness me, I thought I solved the problem with the calls, but apparently it's all funny. So there was another story making the rounds. What a day. But we're on top of it. There's another story making the rounds about, the federal government buying some cars and Niger and all of that talk. And there's that story making the round. And I would like to call somebody on that story again. I just hope he picks up this time. And, asking some questions and let him share some insights. Okay, I don't know what is going on now. What's happening to my phone line? Okay. But you can still keep the calls coming in 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Okay. Oh, finally we got it right now. Okay. Okay. I think we're in now. Yeah. So, so we had to connect. Oh, okay. I think it should be a whole lot better now. Yeah. From now. So I'm also calling this young Nigerian that feel hurt as a result of this, and hopefully we'll be able to get him to speak to us.
The customer you are calling is busy.
Okay.
Please try again later.
Oh, good. So I think we'll just keep dialing him up, and hopefully he gets it. So, but the line is connected now, so easy does it. Smooth stuff for us. Okay, good.
Hello?
Hi, Toby. How are you? Good morning. Toby, this is Rufai Oseni. Toby, good morning. Hello, Toby. Wow. Okay, let me try to call Toby again because he has some things to say about... Hello, Toby. Good morning.
Hello?
How are you?
Hello, Rufai?
Yeah, Toby, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Okay. We thought problem was solved before, but problem still remains. So, okay. I think today is a learning curve anyway. Okay. Just do it the good old way. Please bear with me. Hi, Toby, can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. So, Toby, so sorry. Good. Sorry, I'm having a lot of technical problems. You know, I used to think I'm geeky and all of that, but I'm not so geeky as I think. Toby, you are a car maker in Nigeria, all right? You are the CEO of Nord Motors. You make Nigerian-made cars. And you did call me that you wanted to sound off, and you can just say your name in full while we go on air. You did call me, you wanted to sound off on the fact that you heard about the story making the round that the government said they gave 1.4 billion for people to buy cars in Niger. And you are a car maker. And you said you can actually produce those cars for less. Tell me all about it, Toby.
Okay, my name is Oluwatobi Ajayi. I'm the chairman, CEO of Nord Automobiles Limited. We, like everybody in Nigeria, we saw the news, and myself, I'm very unhappy. A lot of the other auto assemblers and manufacturers in Nigeria are also very unhappy. Those are vehicles that we can actually make ourselves. We supply vehicles to the Nigerian intelligence community, and we also, I'm sure you're aware, we also make luxury vehicles. So we can actually provide the Nigerian government exactly what they want. Vehicles for patrol or luxury vehicles, whatever they want, at about 50% the price.
50% the price?
Yes, about 50% the price.
And it's going to be bulletproof, going to be everything like you said.
So the thing is, I don't even think those vehicles are bulletproof. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, the document did not indicate there was bulletproof. Those luxury vehicles are very expensive at the moment, even though they're not, even the ones that are not bulletproof. So I don't think, I'm saying, I don't know if they are bulletproof. So, but even at bulletproof, our prices will not be as much as that, even at bulletproof.
And you are made in Nigeria?
Yes, we are made in Nigeria. We have our factory in Lagos. We have actually 2 factories. We are building a research and development center, another factory in University of Lagos. So we are trying to ensure that we produce these vehicles in Nigeria. We produce as much content as possible, much components in Nigeria. That's why we're building the Research and Development Center in University of Lagos and that factory in Lagos, so that a lot of the components that we get from outside Nigeria will be gotten here in Lagos and in Nigeria, and the local content can increase. So
so as we speak now, what are the components of vehicles you produce in Nigeria? You don't make engine blocks yet in Nigeria?
No, we don't make engine blocks yet. We don't make the steel parts, but we make a lot of the plastic parts. So like the dashboard, the door handles, the grill, especially the grill. So we make all those parts here in Nigeria. But the other parts are components that we bring them in, and we assemble, of course, paint and do whatever we want to do, and assemble them here.
Okay. So tell me about, how you feel. But you said you've been supplying the intelligence community's cars in Nigeria. So tell me how you feel as a Nigerian car maker, that when a lot of people are saying that 1.4 billion could have come to you guys in the Nigerian economy, and you were saying there's a law that says that we must not even buy cars when Nigerians can make them. Tell me about that law you were talking about.
Okay, so like I said earlier, so there are a lot of reasons why they should have bought from us, from Nigerian. And so number one is the price. Like I said earlier, we're certainly going to give them maximum about at least, I think, 50% the price. So you're going to be saving 50% of whatever you've spent or you are disbursing for these luxury vehicles to another country. Number two is the fact that we produce jobs. We create jobs in this country. When people import fully made vehicles, they don't create any job. For us, we create hundreds and thousands of jobs. And the reason why these jobs exist is because our factories exist. The minute our factories are closed, those jobs go. So I'm going to go back to the job. But talking about your law, you asked a question. So there's an order, actually, executive order. It's called Executive Order 5. It was signed by the president, I believe, in 2018. It's an order that when I heard about, I was so happy. I felt that, oh wow, this is great. We are going to become, Nigerian auto sector is going to just become very big soon, because I've always felt that the government buying our vehicles is the key to us turning the industry around. The auto industry it's a volume oriented industry. It's also an industry where you need the government support all the way. Even if the industry is 100 years old, if the government stops supporting the industry dies. So it's an industry where you need volume and you also need government support all the way. So when I saw that order, Executive Order 5, which says that if you can't read it, it's a simple document, you can Google it online, more or less.
So what did you call the document? Executive Order 5, right?
Yes, Executive Order 5.
Okay.
Yes. So I think it's a 16-page document. I read it a couple of times, and it provides incentive. It more or less makes it illegal for anybody to buy any foreign assembled vehicle without actually checking on the ones that are assembled in Nigeria. It says that you should prioritize those that are made in Nigeria. That's what that order was saying. So basically, before you buy a foreign assembled vehicle, you must have tried the local assemblers and see that they cannot make it. Which, of course, I think that would be difficult, if not impossible. Then you can now go to the local. So, but it didn't come to us. There are a lot of currently, yes, like I said, we had a meeting in Abuja, the auto sales, on last week Thursday, because of some of the issues happening, especially like this one, and we complained. Not just the one you're hearing in the news. A lot of some parastatals, I will be honest with you, are buying from Nigerian.
Okay, so government parastatals are buying from Nigerian made cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the thing is, I think sometimes it's just which is wrong. As the president has made an order, everybody should follow suit. It's not supposed to be a discretion of the head of that MD. No. It should be followed, because following it protects the Nigerian auto industry, creates more job. It's something. These Nigerians for the past I don't know, maybe 10 years, I've been spending about vehicles, about 3.4 billion, 3.5 billion US dollars to buy vehicles.
That's our forex going out in vehicles alone. And we can produce those ones here.
We can produce. Just imagine half of that money was used was retained in Nigeria. Just imagine. So these are the things, and people mention it starts from the government. When the government buys from us, let's say the government buys a lot. The government is the biggest buyer of vehicles at the moment, I believe. Now, when the government buys from us, it creates a market in few years' time for used vehicles. Nigerian used vehicles. Because in 6 years' time, 7 years' time, you can go to the people that have bought and say, okay, you know what, can they sell their vehicle as used vehicles? Now you have made in Nigeria used vehicles market. And that's how the industry grows. We have parastatals like the Nigerian police, the civil defense, the Nigerian Defense Headquarters as the military, basically. They buy, they are supporting. But we have others, and which they are actually in the majority in this case, that decide to always buy foreign assembled vehicles, which is actually the wrong decision. Let's even forget the fact that it's not a patriotic decision. I'll speak for Nord. At Nord, we provide anybody you can ask. We have customers like Sterling Bank, the Nigerian police. Most of the real estate companies in Lagos are using Nord. So if the private sector can always buy vehicles, you can imagine how reliable they are and how good our after sales are. At about, like I said earlier, about half the price. They are offering the same value at about half the price. So why would you want to pay 2 times more for the same value? Why do you want to pay 2 times more to export jobs to other countries? Let's even then consider, that's even without considering the patriotic angle to this.
Okay. I mean, you've said your bit, but going one step further, I want to now, put it the big picture. Yeah. When are we going to start making engines in Nigeria? And can Nigeria make an airplane of its own if everything is put together? And when can we even start having those steel components? Because I want a day that everything will be produced in Nigeria that will be the component of a car.
Okay, so I'll answer you. So first of all, everything in a car cannot be made in a country.
Okay, that's true.
Not even the US. You're still going to have your microchips coming from countries like Singapore, Thailand, Taiwan, and the rest. Basically, even the US, even Germany, even China themselves depend on some of the Southeastern Asian countries for some of these components. So you won't be able to do everything. I'm just trying to give you 1 or 2 examples.
No, I like the honesty, yeah.
But what is important, which you just mentioned, is a large degree of the components coming from that country. So as much as 90%. Do you understand? Right now in Nord, in terms of value and weight, we produce about 30% of our components in Nigeria. Quite fair. But you have companies in the US and in Germany that they try to get as much as 80% of the components in that country. So to answer your question, when do we start to make this steel? Simple reason. If we have
Ajakuta working,
or a private sector or something, I will get my steel from Nigeria. In fact, that's one of the things I'm trying to do when I get to University of Lagos. You know why? Because the freight I pay on steel is too much. So if I actually get steel from Nigeria, I don't have to pay freight on steel. And that reduces the cost for me. And of course, by extension to the customers have to pay less for the vehicles. So we are working on that. I don't know how. I don't want to backwardly integrate into steel making yet. But we're speaking with some people, some private people, because we've already given up. I don't think the government themselves can do this Ajakuta steel. I don't know yet. I hope they do. But we're speaking with some private sector players like us to see how we can start making some of this steel. In about a year or two, I will know where we are, if it's something we can do. But of course, if we can make our steel, then...
So let me ask you, if you can make steel in Nigeria for the cars, do you think it will help reduce the price of an average car?
Yes, it will reduce it by at least 30%. For steel only.
For steel only?
But at least, I'm using the word at least. No, not for steel, as in for the... I'm talking about...
Overall price of the car.
Problem. Only the steel. We can talk about other things. That's why the prices will reduce. Seriously. If you solve only steel, you will reduce the price of the brand new made in Nigeria vehicle by at least 30%. At least. Just the steel. Because
and because you also need the steel to build the engine, Abi?
Exactly. So you need the steel also to build the engine. So now how do we make the engines? I won't say it is not to make the engine in Nigerian engine is very possible. It's okay. The question we need to ask is how about the maintenance side of it? How about training people on how to maintain them?
But we need to be able to train people to make Nigerian-made car engines now.
Exactly. So when we solve the steel issue, the technology is there. It's not a big deal to actually. There are towns in Germany, for example, where people make engines from their backyard, from scratch to finish. Do you get me? Rufai? So it's not something out of the world. If we have the components to make these things, we get the steel, we get the mold, we get everything, and we make it. And of course, that'll be maybe like year one of us making our engine. And over time, maybe over some few years, we get better. And probably, I have a dream that, we'll make our own engines and be able to compete in the Formula One.
Yeah, and it's possible. I mean, because I'm a huge Formula One fan. But the sad thing is, we don't make tires again in this country.
Let me not miss it.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Now, we will not get there. We will not get there if we do not have the volume.
Okay. Like now, can I ask you how much cars are? Because I want to champion this Buy Nigeria. In fact,
yes.
When I will get around. I need to start driving a Nigerian-made car before the end of the year.
No,
I'm championing this. What's the volume now of Nigerian-bought cars?
Sorry, what do you say?
What's the volume now of people buying Nigerian-made cars? How much do you guys sell?
So the whole industry, I think is really bad. I think for last year, I'm not very sure, but I think the data I saw was for 2021 was I think about 20,000 vehicles.
Nigerian made that was sold. That's too small,
so
no?
Brand new.
Exactly. Okay.
20,000. Brand new, not even just Nigerian made. So the data I saw did not show me what Nigerian made was. But the brand new, whether Nigerian made or not, was about 20,000.
Oh, so everything in general, only 20,000 people could afford brand new cars in Nigeria last year.
And imagine, Rufai, let me say something. This is a market that sold between about over 400,000 units. But so only 20,000 of that 400,000 units were brand new.
Wow. So over 400,000 units of cars were sold in Nigeria. Imported into Nigeria last year. Only 20,000 were brand new. The rest were Tokumbo.
I think 19,000 something.
19,000. So the rest were Tokumbo.
Exactly.
Wow.
You see our problem.
Wow.
That's our problem.
Yeah, that's a real problem.
The ratio of brand new to used.
But people will also argue with you that there's no money in people's pocket now. So that's
so that's what I'm saying. It starts. See, it's an industry that will not. It's an industry in some countries is over 100 years old. In Nigeria, it was starting. It died. We're trying to bring it back up. Now, and for it to survive, for it to thrive, we need the government to support. More support. You go and check. Tesla is who they are today because the US government at some point was supporting them. They were giving them.
Oh yes, they gave them loan. Yes.
Yes. So we're not getting such in Nigeria. If you check there's a bill, NAIDP, the National Automotive Investment Development Plan. That policy is a very good policy, excellent policy, but it is not being implemented. In fact, right now, the Finance Act that was protecting us before was removed, Section 38 of it. So right now, let me give you a good example. If you bring in knockdown parts, semi-knockdown, you pay 10%, then you pay your VAT. If you bring completely knockdown, you pay no duty, but you pay your 7.5% VAT. Then others that were bringing completely built, who more or less were not creating jobs in Nigeria. To assemble a vehicle in Nigeria, no matter even the SKD, you need to actually be able to employ people. You need to be able to do certain things. You have to have a factory. You have to have the license also, which means a regulator will come to the factory or place and see what you're doing. Now, those that were assembling fully, which is just assemble the entire thing, somebody else has created in that country, get to Lagos ports, buy fuel inside, and just drive over the port. Simple, after you pay your duty. The government was telling them to pay about 35%. So there was a difference about 25% in the duty, which in my opinion, what I think was fair, was giving the incentive. So basically, if I'm paying 10 million, let's say 1 million as duty, the person bringing fully built will pay 3.5 million. Okay, 2.5 million difference may be enough to pay for the assembly cost, the logistic cost, and also the depreciation on your factory. But now, Rufai, anybody who brings in fully built vehicle pays 10%. And you too, that you are bringing semi-knockdown, you pay the same 10%. Where an average, when you bring a semi-knockdown, you still need to spend, let me not waste too much time, you still need to spend an average of 1.1 million per vehicle. For example, a pickup. So I'm going to ask you a question. If you're a businessman, initially, before, when you bring in semi-knockdown, apart from the fact that you have a factory,
okay, because we need to wrap up on time. I've got my next guest waiting, so.
Okay, so you need to pay your duty 1 million naira. Then you need to pay the assembly cost another 1.1 million, or say 1 million. That's 2.1 million. You know, when you look at it, that okay, if you bring it fully built, you have to pay 3.5 million. You can see that it makes sense to bring it semi-knockdown.
I can imagine.
Which creates jobs, yeah.
Yeah.
But right now, the person that brings it fully built pays 10%, which is just like 1 million naira. You get where you bring it semi-knockdown, you pay the same 10%, but you still need to incur the extra, let's say 1.1 million naira per vehicle. So there's no point bringing it semi-knockdown anymore.
My brother, you see, what will happen is we'll have to keep harping on these things. And definitely, you know, for car producers, not only you, Innocent, and the others in this country, I think only you are Innocent are indigenous, then
but there's... There are others, they are not as active.
Okay.
And of course, that's because the incentives are no more there, or the incentives are not enough.
Okay.
But like I said, the auto industry, the auto manufacturing industry is an industry of industries, the mother of industries.
Okay.
We will create other supporting industries.
Okay. I think maybe what we should even do is, maybe I'll get VOP to partner. We could have like a real auto conference in Nigeria, you know, where we can bring all the stakeholders in and knock these things out, really.
Yeah.
That's something we look at. But thank you so much. Really appreciate you, Toby. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. So please go out there, Nigerians, you know, buy Nigerian-made cars. But it's quite sad that, wow, the numbers are quite little low. You know, people are hardly buying new cars again because of, you know, the economy and all the things like that. But I'll get my next guest in. I will just talk briefly about national issues, politics, and the likes. Great to have you, sir. I'll be putting you on the radio soon, sir. All right. I'm trying to put my next guest on the radio. Okay, great to have you, sir. How are you, sir?
Very well. How are you?
Thank you so much. Sorry for waking you up this morning and getting you out there. So my next guest is the governor of Ekiti State, Governor Fayemi. He joins me this morning, and it's a pleasure. Thank you so much having to come up here and just talking to me this Sunday morning. But real quickly, I would like to go straight to it. There are many issues we'll be tearing apart and all of that. At first, a lot of people have been asking, yes, a new government is in your state. What are your expectations? They're also talking about the elections, all right? The elections at which this candidate emerged. They talked about vote buying. They talked about so many things. What will be your clarification as regards all of that as you start your transition process?
Thank you very much, Rufai. Well, the new government comes into office on October 16th, by which time I would have served out my 2 terms in office. The incoming governor used to be my secretary to the state government, and he was previously a commissioner for economic planning and budget, as well as chief of staff to one of my predecessors, Governor Fayemi. So he's very well equipped. He has the experience, he has the knowledge, he has the understanding of Ekiti people, and I would expect that he would continue on the path of progressive development of the state. It's the first time we would be having a governor from the same ideological and political orientation taking over from his predecessor. So again, the normal distractions that we always have when you have alternation of power from one political party to another would not be there for this new governor. He would have all the necessary facilities and understanding to know what had happened in the previous administration, and to continue from there. Of course, the challenge of resources, the uncertainties of political developments in the country, the usual nature of succession will still be there, but it has an advantage, and that's something that none of us has enjoyed in the past, those who've been governors in the state. So I believe that he will start on a very, very positive note, and the trajectory can only be on the upswing.
Okay.
So the other matter you raised concerning allegations about how he emerged as the candidate and his eventual victory in the election, I would say clearly that it's in the nature of Nigerian politics, unfortunately, for people who lose elections to find reasons other than themselves as an explanation for their loss in any election. In that particular election, I was in my own village in Ekiti, and I voted there. It was recorded publicly on television because there were a phalanx of journalists present where I voted, and clearly there was nothing like vote buying in that particular polling unit where I voted. So it would be irresponsible on my part to take the total title that I picked from elsewhere and say such happened and did not happen. I did not witness any vote buying in that election, and I didn't witness any vote selling in that election. So I really couldn't comment on it. But clearly, if you were to do your own assessment, where was the opposition in that election? The opposition to the All Progressive Congress was divided. The insurgents in that election, the Social Democratic Party, was a faction of the PDP. And if you were to add the votes of both parties, it will still not come close to the votes that put Oyebanji in the election as the winner. So there is a clear rational argument for the victory, and there's clearly is also a performance of the outgoing government. And if you want to be objective, there couldn't have been any other winner in that election outside of Oyebanji, quite frankly.
Okay, but it's just that the other camp doesn't feel that way. There were talks of vote buying, and there were talks about that being corroborated by election monitors that actually confirmed that there were vote buying in the state. But because we have a lot of issues to cover, let me quickly move on. You can send your questions, if you're looking at me on the live chat here, so I can ask Governor Fayemi of Ekiti State. Secondly, the other issue I want to talk about is this NNPC launch. I know the state governors quipped about it. What are the issues surrounding the launch of this NNPC? And I know the state governor feel very strong about the new NNPC conversation.
Well, Rufai, this is an old debate for us. First, let me say that as far as the new NNPC Limited is concerned, governors generally feel it's a step in the right direction to have the company be divested. In fact, this has been an argument for some time that what we require in order for the NNPC to function as effectively as Nigerians would like to see is an NLNG model in which the company is independent commercially of the government of Nigeria, but returns profit and royalties from its operations to its shareholders. That has always been our position. However, in the process leading up to the enactment of the Petroleum Industries Act, we were very active in that discussion. We attended the public hearing. We had extensive discussions with the committee responsible for putting that law together, led by Senator Sabo Nakudu. And we also engaged the federal government and the committee that was set up after the law was promulgated, and we highlighted our concerns again. And the concerns are basically relating to the ownership structure of the NNPC Limited. What the PIA says is that the NNPC Limited is a federation company. It does admit that. And when you have a federation company, you're talking about the federating units, which, as we all know, are the federal government, the state government, and the local government, which states normally act for. But the Act then goes on to say that this federation company will be represented by the Federal Ministry of Finance Incorporated, 50%, and Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources Incorporated, 50%. So in other words, the 200 million nominal shares, which was supposed to be the 200 million Nigerians, if you like, now belong to these two companies acting for the federation. And we said, no, we do not accept that as states. There is always an underlying principle for managing federation institutions. We've done it. The Sovereign Wealth Fund, otherwise known as NSIA, we've done it with NLNG, we've done it with NIPP. Those are the power holding company, and we even have shareholding certificates for all these federation companies. Because this is not the first federation company we're having. We have others. And the shareholding structure is very clear. It mirrors the revenue allocation formula in the country, which is 52% federal government, jointly between themselves, 46 between local government and state government, and then there are some special institutions like Natural Resource Development Fund, Logical Funds. I mean, those are really infinitesimal, but that's the structure for federation accounts. And we have raised this with Mr. President. We've discussed this, formally and informally with the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the Ministry of Finance. And we've also taken this up with the Senate Committee and the National Assembly. They would agree with the argument that we put up, but I don't want to suggest that there's any sleight of hand anywhere. But we have reached a point now that governors have decided that we're going to seek judicial interpretation of these constitutional principles that we are insisting on. So the matter would be, therefore, those who are saddled with such responsibility to interpret it for us and decide what the ownership structure should be.
Okay.
That's one. We have a number of other issues, but that's the most fundamental.
Okay, so the governors will go to court, and I'm confirming that from you now, Governor Fayemi, that the governors will go to court over the ownership structure of the NNPC.
Well, that's not the first stage. The governors have set up a committee in our last meeting, chaired by our vice chairman, and I can give you freely those who are in that committee. Governor Aminu Tambuwal, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. These are lawyers, and we deliberately put them in this committee to do this review. And Governor Charles Soludo, Governor Udom Emmanuel, I believe Governor Abdurazak of Kwara, Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State, and Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Those three, as you may know, they've operated in that sector for a long time as oilmen, and we feel that with the lawyers in our team and the economist, former central bank governor, these are issues that can be first discussed again with these people, with the representatives of the federal authorities, and if we're getting nowhere, yes, we will go to court.
Okay, so you discuss with the authorities first as regards NNPC, but if nothing is done, you go to court. Let's quickly go straight and dive into a little bit of politics. It's politics season. You guys will start the campaign trail in September. A lot of people are asking, what records are the APC going to campaign on? They're talking about debt service ratio that hit 119%. Now we're borrowing to pay our debts. They're talking about massive insecurity, Abuja siege and all of that, prison break here and there. They're talking about insecurity, unknown gunmen everywhere. The other day, Ondo, just your neighboring state, has been madly attacked, by criminals, terrorists, bandits, whatever you want to call them. The Owo massacre is one. And also the general state of play of the economy. Now we have inflation over 18%. That's times 2 of the CBN target of 9%. Then at the same time, we have a Forex problem. Companies are losing money by the day because of Forex. And that's the state of play in the economy. So people are asking, What records will the APC campaign on?
Well, Rufai, I think these are legitimate questions to pose to an APC chieftain on your program. But I wouldn't want to discuss the campaign strategy of APC on radio because we're still working things out. As you know, it's only this week released names of leading figures in the campaign organization. But let's talk as Nigerians. There is no doubt that we're not where we want to be or where we ought to be as a country. This was not what we promised when we campaigned to seek for presidential power in 2015 and 2019. Some of these problems that you have highlighted are products of our policies, and we have to take responsibility for them. Others are clearly the result of global changes. We never expected that we would spend more than 2 years experiencing COVID-19 pandemic and all of its effects on the economy. We also never anticipated that there will be the conflict that is ravaging Ukraine and that has global implications, economic implications as well. But where I believe we could have acted differently, I mean, almost every country that is an oil-producing nation is benefiting from some of these challenges that I speak about, because oil prices are, of course, not at the benchmark price that we anticipated. If we were to take the current budget, with Brent price was, I think, $62 per barrel. Oil has sold for above that over the last budget cycle. But unfortunately for us, almost every penny that we earn from oil has been plunged back into refined products importation, to the extent that we really don't even have any APC contributing to the Federation account over the last 6 months. So that is something that we are responsible for. But we are responsible for it because you also have a president who is almost always very concerned about the plight of ordinary Nigerians. That is why he has been reluctant against all economic indices and against all evidence that have been provided. That's why he has been reluctant to accede to a removal of subsidy on PMS. And the inflationary impact that would have on other products, food inflation, general inflation, these are issues that ordinary Nigerians are concerned about, no matter how much we argue that, yes, there may be a short-term impact of that, and governors have argued this. Governors have been accused of lacking in feeling for ordinary Nigerians by insisting that there should be a subsidy removal, but a subsidy removal that is backed up by a pot of money clearly defined for specific purposes that would be to the benefit of ordinary Nigerians. But there is deficit of trust generally with the government, and even when they know that this is not sensible, everybody still believes the myth that they would be beneficiaries of petroleum subsidy. So we need to have a conversation, a serious conversation around it amongst the people. And maybe the election will provide us with the opportunity to do that if people genuinely want an economy that is better than theirs.
Okay. So you've said that maybe the election will afford the people the opportunity to do that. We need to have serious conversation. You accepted the fact that there were failures and failings on behalf of this on the part of this government, and there were some that you said, okay, was blamed because of the economic situation all around and all of the things around. But another very critical matter was the fact that this government came in with a great record that they were going to solve the insecurity problem. But it has gotten worse over the years, and the problem now has come home to roost because we don't even know what we're dealing with. Is it unknown gunmen? Is it terrorists? Things just happen everywhere. So what will be the solution to the problem of this insecurity as we speak? Because, yeah, we've thrown money at the problem. You can argue with me that the money might not be enough in terms of security spend, but people say we ought to be seeing results by now.
Rufai, you're absolutely right. The security situation is appalling. It's unacceptable. But I don't want to go into the semantics over whether it has gotten worse or not worse. I happen to be a student of security, and I know that the fear of crime is almost always twice the real crime itself. And by that, not suggesting that the security situation is good. It has mutated, but it has also subsided in some parts. At the time this government was coming into office, you would recall that you couldn't even drive freely in Abuja. You had the Madala bombing, you had the police headquarters attack, you had the UN building attack, all events were happening in the villa. You had 27 out of the 30 odd local governments in Borno State, 3 in Adamawa, and I believe another 2 or so in Yobe, under full control, or at least not under the control of the federal authorities. I don't believe that that's the case today. Things have improved in the Northeast significantly, and that was the center of the insurgency at the time. Yes, it is now clear that banditry, kidnapping, random killings, and what you call unknown gunmen in the southeastern part of the country, particularly, and occasional forays, like we had in Owo, which is unfortunate because the southwest has been largely insulated, although we've had some killings like the Fashion killings or the kidnappings in the southwest as well. But by and large, the southwest had been insulated from this. I believe that one of the major challenges that we ought to have responded to much earlier when this thing happened was the impression amongst most Nigerians that the problem of the Northeast should be left to the Northeast people. You know the balance, Rufai, Gambari, Pafula, and Nikos Lejonu. We were not sufficiently seized of the issue to have had a whole of society response to it. We felt it was the problem of the people of Maiduguri and Yobe and Adamawa. Well, let them sort their problems out. They're the ones whose children are killing each other for reasons that are not entirely clear to the rest of us. Now the chickens have come home to roost. We can blame government because government is responsible for security and welfare of Nigerians. And when you come to that as well, you can say that we ought to have security approach to this, not just an exclusively hard military security approach, because there is a direct correlation between poverty and violence. And many of the people who have been involved in this, they've gotten to a point where, yes, people may say religion, but there's nothing religious about many of the things they've done, because these are Muslims killing Muslims. They're not Muslims exclusively targeting Christians. What is happening in Zamfara or in Kaduna or in any of our states in the northwest now is not a religious war. It's an opportunistic one in which people believe that if cattle rearing is no longer as profitable as kidnapping, let me drop my cattle rearing and focus on kidnapping where I could make more money.
Okay. I mean, some great insights there, but, for the sake of benchmarking the argument, some other people also argue that prior to the APC government coming in, we never had the case of Brigade of Guard being attacked, Abuja being almost invaded, and people could still travel from Abuja to Kaduna without having their hearts in their mouth, but today is not the case. They also talk about the fact that the Niger State governor did come out to say that most parts of Niger State, are surrounded by these criminals, these bandits, these terrorists. So that's just to benchmark the arguments on both sides.
I don't disagree with that. And Rufai, you've had me in your studio, or you've interviewed me in the past, and I pointed out a number of things that are still not right with our security strategy and our operational framework at this point in time. One, I have argued in the past that we're throwing money at a problem without reviewing the way we're dealing with the problem. This is an asymmetrical warfare. And in asymmetrical warfare, you cannot use the conventional strategy of war. Because more often than not, these enemies are embedded within your own normal society. And when they're embedded, they have informants, they get intelligence, they know what is happening directly from source because they live amongst people. And then go on to undertake their nefarious activities. Number three, you cannot use MRAPs and use APCs to fight these people. You have to design another strategy in which new battalions and new brigades should emerge in those areas where we have these problems. The other day, people were saying that, the military has undertaken some changes in their senior officers. And I looked at the list of the changes and I laughed. Because the areas were affected were not even the areas that have become the epicenters of this problem. It was not the GOCs in the northeast that were changed. The three GOCs that were changed in that reshuffle was GOC in Lagos, GOC in Ibadan, and GOC in Enugu. Maybe Enugu is close to the IPOP crisis, so you can say that's part of it. But I do not believe that change reflected in any way a response strategy to the problems that we're currently experiencing. That's that. In talking to military people, all of them admit, and even the police, that there is nothing they have asked for that President Buhari has not made available to them. In many cases, they're using resources to duplicate their operations. They duplicate equipment purchases, they duplicate intelligence institutions, and they do not synergize enough. And that has its own implications. So you can have intelligence that is not actionable. It's just gossip.
So it goes So it goes back to that talk of the architecture itself.
Yes, it goes back to the architecture. We need to rejig the architecture. We need to use technology more. We need to more men. The reality is that we do not have enough. I said on that program to you, Rufai, you asked me a question. I said, look at countries like Egypt, countries like Ethiopia. They have more men under arms than we do. It's even a struggle for us to recruit 10,000 men into the police force. You hear that the Police Service Commission is fighting the Inspector General of Police, and there's all sorts of altercations over simple recruitment.
Okay.
When we are ready,
yes,
we will tackle these issues.
Okay. And so, because you're also pushing the candidacy of the man you stepped down for, because you two were in the running for presidency at a point, that's Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We're also pushing his candidacy. So I assume that these are the things that you people are going to be talking about and giving us more details about, when the time comes as regards the campaign, September and all of that, and in the manifesto, because a lot of Nigerians are saying that they'll like to see these things. They'll like to see this detailed argument, block for block, bit by bit, and to be able to enunciate this. But I would like to talk to you about the role of religion. Your political party, the APC, is making a strong pitch to Nigerians that religion doesn't matter. You floated a Muslim-Muslim ticket. But a lot of people are saying that in 2015, because of religious expediency, you had to balance your ticket in 2015. It was a Muslim and a Christian. Now, what has changed? Is it just a thing of convenience? It doesn't matter. And what is it, that brouhaha about the bishops and all of that? That we need to sort out all of that. Let's talk about that then quickly before I now talk about, you as a person, and as you start to wrap up your tenure, what next for you? Because since you're not running for president again.
Thank you very much, Rufai. I'm sad, and it's unfortunate that religion has come front and center into political arguments. But then again, this is Nigeria. We are a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-religious society, and there's always going to be need for sensitivity and for inclusion in whatever we do as a country. And our politicians ought to be cognizant of that fact. There can be no debate about strengthening our national cohesion and national unity by ensuring that whatever we do is reflective of the mosaic nature of our country. That's how those who put us together have done it, and that's how we have managed to survive so far. But I think it's unfortunate that we are really inserting something that is private. I'm a proud Christian, a Catholic, and in Catholic social teachings, we are very passionate about social justice. But at the same time, I do not necessarily believe that what has happened in APC is a reflection of how Bola Tinubu sees other faiths. I think, putting it bluntly, I think for him and his strategists, I haven't been part of those discussions, I must say, but for him and his strategies, they were just looking at how best to win an election. It's not a matter of competence, it's not a matter of inclusion, it's not a matter of logic necessarily.
So why did they make that argument of competence? Because the argument of competence was flat on his feet when they said, obviously, there's no Christian that was competent enough to be on the joint ticket with him in the north.
I don't think that's accurate. I mean, you know that there are competent Christians all over Nigeria, not least in the northern part of Nigeria, who are leading members of our party. I mean, very, very competent Nigerians who have gone on to do great things in their own fields of endeavor. I do not think, I mean, you know Bola Tinubu, I don't think he would say that. He is a detribalized
Or maybe
Nigerian.
surrogates say that, because that was the argument most of his surrogates were making on television.
Well, sometimes surrogates speak out of tune. They speak not because they've been properly briefed on what they're saying. They speak because they think they just have to put up a defense. And a lot of them talk a whole lot of nonsense. But that is something that you should also expect in politics. People who do not even know Bola Tinubu or are not part of his campaign, they're speaking for him. So this, I would advise him and advise the party, the campaign ought to be better disciplined. We shouldn't just go out there and say things unnecessarily. I mean, you are asking me now. I'm not the spokesperson of the campaign. And I'm articulating a position, which is my private, personal opinion, not the opinion of Bola Tinubu. But because I believe I know him well enough, I can say that he is not the type that would decry the importance of a multi-religious country. And he's demonstrated it times without number that.
So, just a quick. Do you think they could have been more appealing in the argument by saying, okay, this is the case? Because you're more tempered in the argument, not like what the argument they were making. In fact, at some point, the first rebuttal of the argument was, oh, it doesn't mean anything. Then when people talked about 2015, then they rebuffed and said, no, it's because of competence. Then the third one, the surrogates started abusing everybody. So do you think they will have just been more tempered in the rebuttals rather than just making arguments that was flat on his feet?
I think they certainly could have been more tempered and more mature about it. I also, as a matter of fact, I believe that we, as a party, ought to have been more strategic about it. And I think there was a time factor that affected this whole thing. Remember, he was in France. He came back from France. And it was barely a week to the deadline, INEC deadline for the submission of names. I mean, if I were in that position, maybe a week earlier, once it's clear that it's going to be a person from the northern extraction who is a Muslim, I would have actually undertaken the task of reaching out to influential Christian leaders, including the ones in our party, who may legitimately have expected to be chosen as the vice presidential candidate, and build a team of respected Christian leaders in APC to engage senior Christian figures that are respected. The Pastor Adeboye is the president of the Catholic Bishop Conference, the president of the Pentecostal Federation of Nigeria, president of ECWA, COPIN, all those we ought to have reached them, because I think they also felt insulted that this thing just came like a bolt out of the blue. So yes, you're right. It could have been a much more mature handling than what we did.
Okay, so you're going to leave in October after you've served 8 years. At some point, you've been a minister. In fact, you've had a good run. You came from civil society, all right? In fact, a lot of people are even saying that the argument of competence was the argument Bola Tinubu himself gave. That's what people are saying, because, I've got a YouTube trail where people are commenting. So they're saying he said it himself about the competence thing. You came from civil society. You are in government. You've been on both sides. You are leaving government now. What next for you? What's the future for you? A lot of people thought, okay, you're going to run for president, but you stepped down for Bola Tinubu now. So what next for you? And what's your message for the people of your state, Ekiti State?
Thank you, Rufai. Look, I mean, I've been at this since 2005 when I stepped down as the director of the Center for Democracy and Development. And I'm glad that CDD has grown to higher heights since I left. So for me, I don't have a sit-tight syndrome. I don't want to be a governor forever or remain in particular positions forever. I watch from afar what CDD is doing now. I support them when they ask for support, usually intellectual support, but I'm very proud of the legacy that I left as the pioneer director of that institution. Just as I'm proud of what I did in the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development when I was minister in President Buhari's first term, and of course my return to Ekiti. I really want to take some time off. Unfortunately, I may not be able to because we have a campaign coming up, and I'm a party man to the core, regardless of what may have transpired in the presidential primaries. I'm going to work for my party and do everything within my powers to ensure that our candidate emerges the president of Nigeria in February 2023. That's the first assignment that you're going to hear me concentrate on. But after that, I really want to put some of what I've done into some reflection. I first and foremost, I'm an academic, so I would like to write about my experience in public office, particularly in state government and in the Ministry of Mines. I hope to return to some policy work. I'm hoping to set up a policy think tank that would mentor younger people who wants to come into public office, because that is also an area of challenge. I have a lot of young people working with me. I have a chief of staff who joined me when he was 27 and is 39 now. I have a finance commissioner under 40. I have so many young people around me. And one of the things they say to me is, you need to tell us how you manage this trajectory. And a lot of people who are not even in my government, they say the same thing. And I believe we owe our younger ones. When you look at that INEC records, the most recent records that has come out of those who've registered for elections, and you follow the debate online, you see that something is changing in Nigeria. Younger people are becoming more interested than they used to be. And I think that is positive for our democracy. But they also need the tools
to be able to do it.
To be able to do it beyond noise. Yes, people say you campaign in prose and you
govern in poetry, Mario Cuomo.
Well, that's Mario Cuomo. But you know what? We now campaign in noise, not even in prose. It's unintelligible noise. And a lot of young people don't even know where this country has come from. They're like the people they call the born-free generation in South Africa, who when you hear them talk about Mandela, you're shocked. Because they describe Mandela as a sellout, the expletives they use for the ANC fighters is not in any way connected to the reality of the struggle that those...
Okay, so because of time, we're wrapping up. So we're expecting a book from you. We're expecting the think tank, the leadership think tank and intellectual work, from you. And probably we expect you to maybe, I don't know, you'll be lecturing in Nigerian university maybe sometime soon and, just sharing those rich insights, but a lot...
Yes. I have a standing lectureship at the University of Ibadan Political Science, which I have not taken up.
Okay, so you take that. So you...
I may also do that now.
Okay, so... so a lot of people are giving an arm and a leg. In fact, some people are putting up money here on YouTube and saying, I should ask you, that was the bishop coming to the presentation of the vice president, was it really necessary? Was all of that really necessary? And the parade of bishops and all of that, was it really necessary? Really?
Personal opinion?
Yeah.
I think it was unfortunate, it was unnecessary, there was nothing to prove.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not so sure Bola Tinubu knew anything about that. And that's why we need to run a tight ship. We need to run a campaign that is driven by a clear direction of the leadership. Not accidental engagements. There's a lot of accidental engagements.
So you felt...
You have a proliferation of Tinubu support groups. All manner of people are saying all manner of things and doing things just to curry favor of the principal and to look good. Unfortunately, these things backfire sometimes. time.
So you felt probably maybe that Bishop episode was like an arrangee of some sorts but you, like you said, it's not necessary really. It wasn't necessary for all of that. All right. Thank you so much. And I wish you a lot of good things in life, as you go on your new journey. It's always refreshing talking to you, and always great when we have this, conversations back and forth, Governor Fayemi. And I can't wait, to see you at probably the University of Ibadan teaching political science and sharing your rich insights and all of that. And, and the work you do with the Leadership Institute at the think tank and how to grow and develop our politics in Nigeria. A lot of people are saying on YouTube here, the general consensus are saying you're a bit more honest, more than the conventional Nigerian politician. That's what they're saying. And it's quite refreshing for them to say that about a serving governor in this country. That's quite refreshing. And trust me, you've got tons of people watching from the diaspora on this, and that's what they're saying. It's a bit more honest and all of that. So, and they're saying they love to see great minds like you.
It's always refreshing to talk to you, Rufai. You manage to price out this information. I don't know how you do it. Politicians generally are wary of talking to the media because sometimes these things get twisted. But
I know.
The reality is that we also owe a measure of accountability to the public
and
who
thank you
have
so
put
much.
us in this office.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, a lot of accolades coming in for you. I love Fayemi. He sounded honest on many issues. Good man. I love him. He sounded honest on many issues. All right. So
Thank you.
that's the
Give my
fit.
regards to all of them.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Okay. Great. I'm sure they heard it. Thank you so much, guys.